Okay, so for the mushroom, I will actually create a new file. I don't want to create the mushroom here because we're already kind of using a lot of computer memory to hold all of these vertices. So I'll just go File, New, make sure you save it, obviously. I'm not saving it, but you make sure you save it. And I have my mushroom here, and I'll get started. So to get started, a mushroom is obviously more complex than the apple. I recommend doing the mushroom in two different parts. Do the top cap first, and then do the stem, or vice versa. So obviously find the reference image on Google. And now we want to create like a blockout of this mushroom. What a blockout is essentially we'll just get our primitives. So Shift A, and we want to create the mushroom, to some kind of basic shape. So I'll get my cube here, or my cylinder here. I'll just kind of create, the mushroom kind of looks like this. Cool, that's my stem. Obviously, I'll change it in sculpt mode. But this is good enough for now. And then the top, obviously the top kind of looks like a UV sphere, and I'll bring it up here. The width is the same, but I'll bring it down a little bit. So it's something like this. Okay, so this is my block out of my mushroom. Now, some of you might want to kind of delete these bottom faces, which if you try doing it this way, and then we'll try to edit it in the sculpt mode, it will glitch out on you. If you do decide to do it this way anyway, though, then make sure you go into edit mode, you select this entire loop around, and then press F to fill in that gap. Now it will actually work. Okay, so actually I'm going to stick with this because it's a little bit closer. I'm going to work on this bottom bit first. So what I will actually do, when I didn't do this in the other part, is I will select it. I will press Control A, and I'll say Apply Scale. I'll also click on the cap, Control A, Apply Scale. But anyway, so now that that's done, I click on the stem, go to Sculpting, and now again I press Shift R, and I choose kind of like so that the grid is again 0.03, and then I press Control R. And now I can start the process, right? So I start smoothing, I'm holding Shift and I'm clicking as I'm rotating around. And then this bottom bit on the mushroom is very rounded, so I just round that. So there's the stem. And now I want to go into the cap. I cannot start sculpting the cap, right? Like right now I'm sculpting the cap, or it seems like, but I'm actually not. I'm sculpting the bottom bit. So I'll just Control Z back. Now I'll go to layout mode. I'll select the cap. I'll go back to sculpting mode. And once again, I have to press Shift R, bring that number to around 0.03, and then Control R. And now I do that process. So again, I'm smoothing everything. Smooth everything out. I also do the bottom bits. Okay, so now I kind of have a basic shape, but I want to add a little bit more detail, right? I want to add this bottom. So I'll look at it from below. So I press 7. This is looking at from top. And I'll press 9. So now looking directly from the bottom. I want to make sure that this is on the plus. And now if I go around, I'm going to add that little lip. Okay, and I can keep going around a little bit. And then I'll go from the side view just so I can kind of see my progress. And I kind of like it. I like the chaoticness of this all, right? Like mushrooms, they're chaotic. You don't want it to be perfect. So you can kind of add a little bit more everywhere. And you can play around with the other brushes too. Like I can use inflate here to kind of make it a little bit more. Okay, and I'm already getting a little pixelation, so I'll just press Control R just to get the pixelation to go away. And now what am I gonna do here? Well, actually, my mushroom is a little bit flat, so I'm actually going to bring out the top a little bit more. So I'll grab the grab brush, make it a little bit bigger, and then just move it up. I want it to be more round at the top. Okay, and I'll just smooth it out by holding Shift. And if you want, like if I look at this mushroom, if I look at the mushroom image, at the top here, it's actually kind of dragged up. So I'm just going to grab my grab brush, make it big, and I'll just kind of bring this edge up, right? Why not? I can do that. And maybe I'll bring this edge down at the back here. I'll bring it in as well, it's a little bit out. And I'll just smooth it out a little bit. Maybe I'll bring that up, that down, I don't know. Cool. And I'll do these middle bits. For those middle bits, I'll just grab my draw sharp brush, make the brush kind of small, and make sure it's on the minus sign. And now I'll just kind of draw in those grooves, right? So I'm kind of, yeah, drawing in the grooves. And again, if your camera starts being wonky, just press the period key on your number pad. That will recenter it. Cool. So I kind of have a mushroom. Again, it's a little bit pixely, so I'll press Ctrl R. That will kind of help it out a little bit. And now it's kind of time to just color it in. I will not add all of these details in there. That will be a little bit too much. Maybe you can paint those details in, but I don't recommend sculpting them in. So again, I'll set up my material, go to shading, make sure the mushroom is selected, press new, material, Shift A, color, its color attribute, bring the yellow to the base color. You can name this material color. Okay, so I just renamed it to color. Then I click here, I select that material color. Now when you go to your sculpting, make sure you go back up here to the top right to viewport shading. Now if I actually start painting, this black, default black, is now going to turn into whatever I want, right? So I'm going to try my best to actually recreate the colors here. So you can just kind of move your color wheel at the bottom right and try to match colors, but there's a better way. What you can do is you can, at the top left here, you can click on your color, get this eyedrop tool, just like Photoshop, move it, and then I want to grab that color. So I press there, and boom, now I have that exact color. So now I will paint. So now I will paint that mushroom the same color. I'm going to paint it everywhere. I'll deal with the bottom later. And then on the edges, it's a little bit white. So I'll press it, eyedrop tool, white. And now I'll do those edges. Okay. And now to kind of blend it all in, I'm holding Shift, and I'm going through it all to blend the colors in more naturally. I actually feel like this color is a little bit faded, so I'm going to reselect a color. But then I'll just kind of bring the brightness up and then move the color a little bit darker. Bring my strength down, and I'll just kind of paint a little bit more vibrant color at the top. I'm not a fan of how how much light reflects here. So I'll go to shading and I'll bring the roughness all the way up and the specular all the way down. So I can see the colors a little bit better. Again, holding Shift to kind of smooth out all the colors. And I kind of like this brown orangey in between. So I'm going to try to bring that in there. And then again, I'm smoothing it out by holding Shift and moving my mouse around. Okay, and say I want to do these white spots, then I'll just select the white color. So I have the white color, bring the strength all the way up, bring the size down, and then I can draw random white dots. Cool. So I have that. Now at the bottom here, obviously we need to also fix this. So I will grab this color, this yellow. Okay, so say that's good. And I just start painting at the bottom here. Again, I'll smooth out the sides here. I'll keep the red kind of hue. That's fine. Okay, let's just say I'm happy with that. Obviously now I need to paint this bottom bit now. So I'll go to layout mode. I'll select the stem, go back to sculpting, choose a color that I want. I like this color. And now I just paint that bottom bit. And once again, I want a little bit more detail. So I'll choose a little bit darker color, a little bit more saturated. I'll bring the strength down. And I'll just kind of paint around. So it's not just one color, but it's kind of multicolored. And then just smooth it all out. Okay, and I have a little cute mushroom. So when you finish this, you will now find, again, 2 items. Now you have a full random choice. You can choose whatever you want to create that you will sculpt. Obviously, try to make your objects simple, but make sure they're kind of organic. So don't do water bottle. That would be done in the way that you learned how to do it. Make it something organic. So either a fruit, vegetable. You can try sculpting like a nose of a person or somebody's ear. But I would stay away from animals. Animals get quite complicated. But make sure that you actually do, like if your object is semi kind of difficult, make sure you do your block out like we did with the mushroom here, right? And then do the actual sculpting. So yeah, good luck.